Hi.
Yay!
Yay. I can't tell. Are we already live in the group?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Um, Muting my phone and stuff. Sorry. Okay. Hi. I'm actually going to look at the Facebook group because I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions or anything. So I would really love for it to be interactive. I hope everyone's doing well. I feel like in the last 2 hours, anything that could have gone awry did. So, super fun. To be honest, I really didn't prepare anything today on purpose. I was really hoping to just kind of share candidly and talk and chat and we'll go from there. I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear and see me well? Okay. My hope is that today, I actually feel really emotional about this anniversary, and I'm not sure why. It's a big deal, right? Like, it is a big deal. But my hope is today that by sharing a little bit of my story and like what this has been like, two things, twofold. I want the people who are wondering what that like, we throw around the phrase a lot, like essential oils saved my life or they changed my life. That gets thrown around a lot haphazardly, I feel like. Maybe not, but like still, I want the people who hear that to understand that a little bit better. And then for those of you who have been here for a while, and maybe you've seen changes in your team or relationships come and go, or you've grown a little weary and well-doing, right? May you feel refreshed. Because that's the season that I'm in right now, is I'm feeling so refreshed and joy in what we do that I'm hoping, wow, it was stupid not bringing tissue in here with me because I knew I was going to get emotional. I felt it happening this morning while I was putting on makeup. Anyways, I did my makeup and hair for you guys today. You're welcome. Okay. Anyways, let me just tell you a little bit about me for those of you who don't know me. Okay. My name is Janell Vonnegut. I just turned 43 a couple of weeks ago. And in February of 2013, 10 years ago, I purchased my first essential oils. You guys, the only thing I knew about essential oils is it made people smell like patchouli hippies. That's all I knew at that time. I was skeptical to say the least. I had my third daughter. I have 3 girls. They are almost 18, about to turn 13 and 11. Derek and I, my husband Derek and I have been married for a little over 20 years now. And he's all the funny, joyful, full of random knowledge that you see him on social media. That is him all day, every day. He is exactly as he appears. So you can imagine what my daily existence is like. I don't know if any of you are Big Bang fans, but I laugh because I feel like if you've seen Friends and you can kind of like mash the characters of Ross and Chandler and then like Sheldon Cooper or Leonard probably more so, that's living with Derek. But I like to joke with him being like, interesting fact. But anyways, neither here nor there. I'll move on. Anyways, after having our third daughter, I had started experiencing postpartum symptoms that honestly were not something that was talked about. It was not a household conversation, especially not in any of the households that I had visited other than, you know, Brooke Shields going on Oprah talking about it, and then Tom Cruise jumping on sofas talking about it. But other than that, it wasn't really anything I had firsthand experience with, especially postpartum. So I spent a lot of time going to my OB's office, just strolling in my, sometimes all three kids, but usually just the baby. I would find a friend or a family member to leave the other two with, and I would go into the office and I would just cry and ask him to fix me. And he would give me a hug and he would say, here, let's try this. And after having, you know, a little over, gosh, if she was born in September of 2011, fast forward to probably December, January 2012, 2013, I was done trying different prescriptions and things because I don't like not being in control of my body and not being able to function at my best full energy. I don't thrive in that. And so I needed something that didn't numb me out. So I started Googling, as we all did then and still do. Google felt a little more cool back then, but because it was sort of new still, right? I came across this livestrong.com article that I found very fascinating. Do you guys remember livestrong.com? And it was all about frankincense oil and the benefits of frankincense oil, especially on mood, and it helping when you're feeling down and when you're overthinking and when you're overwhelmed. And I thought, this is interesting. So I just started Googling frankincense oil, frankincense essential oil, frankincense resin, like words besides like gifts that were brought to baby Jesus, frankincense wasn't a conversation we had growing up. Even like I didn't necessarily grow up in a very natural minded household. I was actually telling Derek the other day, even when I started becoming a little bit more educated on using cleaner things in our home, it was funny, as you know, as a young mom, I remember thinking to myself, okay, well, if I'm not going to use bleach anymore in this bucket of water to wash my floors, and I'm going to use white vinegar, it wouldn't just be a capful. It should probably be like 2 cups, because there's no way it's going to be as potent as what I used to use. Obviously, education is key when learning some of these things. Anyways, I digress. Rabbit trails. I remember reading a lot about frankincense oil and finding mom blogs and finding people who were a lot smarter than me talking about it. And I was like, I need this stuff. So I had a little time, like babysitter time, like I think either a sister or my mother-in-law or a neighbor or someone was taking some kids, for, the kids for a couple of hours. My husband had been traveling back and forth to Michigan at the time. What a lot of people don't know is in 2012, Derek had worked for the second company. We had decided that I was going to stay home and raise the girls. From a very young age, when people would write papers in school talking about how they wanted to be a teacher or wanted to be, fill in the blank when they grew up, I would write papers about how I couldn't wait to be a mom. Like, I couldn't wait to be a mom. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, just like my mom, because my mom was the best mom in the world. So why wouldn't I want to do that? Right. For any of you who know Tammy Walton, Eric and Tammy Walton are my parents. If you are familiar with them, I'm sure you've seen her name in the group. Like, she was that mom that would have cookies when you got off the bus in the afternoon, right? So I wanted to do that. I wanted to live that life. So we did. Derek had worked for a couple of companies back to back that had closed their doors when, after 2011, when our country was struggling. There were two different companies that we worked to back where he helped close the doors. So we had no money. He was mowing neighbors' lawns for money. We were calling my parents for money for diapers. We were definitely struggling. And I don't remember what I was going to say about that or why I went down that road, but we had just claimed bankruptcy. So that was obviously also taking a stress toll on everything on top of chemically what I was dealing with postpartum. And that's why I brought that up. Okay, so fast forward, I'm researching frankincense. And when I say 90% of the articles that I had been coming across mentioned Young Living or linked back to Young Living essential oils or linked back to Gary Young and Young Living essential oils, I was so intrigued. So I was going to Young Living's website quite a bit, and I wanted to buy frankincense oil. Not that I had the money in my bank account to do so, but I kept like clicking things to try to just get my hands on frankincense oil, right? And it kept wanting me to sign up to be a member. And I was like, in order to order it. And I didn't want to do that because I had an experience with another company that was makeup and supplements. And part of the reason we were in this bankruptcy was because we had taken out a $10,000 loan that we had no business taking out at the time in order to stock up on some products, because I was going to make it big. I was going to make it big with their protein shakes and their makeup. So we had all that debt and all of that expired product in our garage. And I was like, I am not signing up for something like that. So I kind of pushed it aside, even though I couldn't stop talking about frankincense. I had, like I had said, I had some babysitting time. Someone was watching the kids, and I went to a local health food store and was looking for frankincense because I had read on one of the mom blogs that you could find it at a local health food store. So it was one of my first times ever walking into a health food store, period. And I was looking at their frankincense oil and I was really confused because it was a tiny little bottle. Now I know it was 5 ml bottle. It was this tiny little bottle and they only wanted $9 for it. And I was like, that's really cheap considering the one on Young Living's website was like 10 times that. So I didn't buy it. I didn't go home with it. I knew I wanted the Young Living one. I can't tell you what exactly I was thinking at that time. I don't remember, but I know I wanted the Young Living one. Fast forward to me basically telling my husband I really wanted to get my hands on this. I felt like it was going to be life-changing for me. And he was just kind of like, okay, okay. He did grow up in a much more natural minded home where his mom did use essential oils and homeopathic remedies and stuff. So he was a little bit more familiar with some of the verbiage. And I'm like, did you know? And he's like, yeah, I knew that. So, anyways, I'm laying in bed shortly after. I mean, it was the morning after, as far as I'm concerned, is my memory. And I was scrolling through this new cool social media thing called Instagram. And one of my girlfriends from elementary school had posted a picture of a Young Living bottle saying that she was going to try it on our kids and she would keep people posted. And I immediately was like, you know how to get Young Living? Tell me this. Tell me how to get my hands on some frankincense oil because I've been reading about this and I need it. And my friend was Lindsay Moreno. And we had known each other since second grade, probably earlier than that, but I think our first memories go back to really like that summer before second grade. And she and I talked a little bit, and I had done more research on Young Living's website because now I'm excited. I have an in. There is someone who's already signed up for this that can buy it and send it to me. And so I started making a list of all the oils I wanted to try. And I really tried this morning to like scroll back through some of our old Facebook messages, but it was over an hour and I only got through a few years. So, but I remember sending her this giant list of oils that I really, really wanted to try. And we're talking $500 or $600 worth of oils easily. So she sent me back a note basically saying that her friend, the person that introduced her to oils, said that I really just needed the kit because it was going to take care of a lot of those, including frankincense. And it was going to be the best way for me to kind of start my oil journey. And I was like, okay, cool. But when I looked at it, so guys, at the time there were 9 oils in there, and there was, it was like $140 something, $46, something like that. No diffuser. And, I was like, yeah, I want that. So she sent me her link to purchase. And I was like, so embarrassed. I did not want to tell her that I only had $30 in my bank account to get us through till my husband got paid again. So for the next several days, I think this was like on February 8th or 9th, I lied my butt off. I lied my butt off to her. Oh my gosh, I got so busy with the kids last night. I totally forgot. I'll do it today. Oh my gosh, today has been so busy. I totally want these. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to do it tonight. Knowing full well that there was no way I was going to be able to do it until my husband got paid on the 15th. So, finally, he gets paid. And I had already told him, like, this is what I want for my birthday. This is what I want for Valentine's Day. Like, this is what I want. And he was like, Janell, every penny is allocated for. And so I do not condone this, but we went ahead and decided to skip our electricity bill because it was one of the only bills not behind for us. And we skipped our electricity bill in order to buy my essential oils, my first essential oil kit that I just knew was going to be the thing. It was going to be the silver bullet that I needed. Right. And, to this day, it was the best freaking bill I've ever skipped. Again, I would never encourage anyone to do that, but it worked out for me. So I remember being so excited about the things that I read, so excited that I had come across articles and blogs. And I mean, this is what I was spending my free time doing. I had a desktop in our dining room. So as my toddlers and children are playing on the floor around me, I was just looking things up and reading. And I would see something about an ailment that one of my loved ones had and how that person used essential oils for it. And I was immediately like, hey, I'm buying these things. I'm going to try them. I'm reading this thing. I'm going to send it to you. You need to buy them too. And I would send them Lindsay's link. Thankfully, no one purchased with Lindsay's link. She was able to help me course correct and change the link to my own member number. But I was like, no. I'm not going to be doing this as a business. So you just go ahead. And she was like, well, no, like, this is how we're going to do this and I'll help you. And I was like, okay. She's like, you don't have to do the business. But maybe I'll pay you back for some of the oils you just bought. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I remember calling my mom, who at the time was working a super demanding job. She was struggling with some physical stuff too. Nerve pain, bone pain, a diagnosis that I won't mention. It rhymes with kyprobialgia. That was so random. Anyways, I'm trying to stay. Feel me? Okay. Anyways, I had read this article and I was like, you need these. And she was like, wow, this sounds really interesting. And so I had read something about something else that I knew another one of my friends was struggling. And I called her and I'm like, listen, I ordered these like 48 hours ago. They haven't even arrived yet, but I read this and oh my gosh, like even if there's a smidgen of hope that this could do the same for you, like worth a try, right? And not even thinking that I was selling. I wasn't selling. I was just so excited. I couldn't wait to tell people about it. So both of them had actually ended up purchasing the same kit that I did before mine even arrived in the mail. And well, what's funny about that is my parents, my dad, if any of you have ever met him, he is a wonderful researcher. He will know a lot about something. Not an expert, but he'll know a lot before he like jumps. And so I remember getting a call from him one day and he was like, hey, I came across this article on this website, Quackwatch. And are you sure about these things? So, and I was basically just like, yes, do it. Like, there's nothing that could deter me at this point. So we all started using essential oils together and it was interesting. So as I had said, my husband was traveling 3 to 4 nights a week at this point. He was working in Michigan and we were still living in Oklahoma. So he would get on a flight at like, he'd leave the house at 4 a.m. on Monday morning and he would be back usually like 6 or 7 p.m. on Thursday night. And we'd have Friday, Saturday, Sunday together. Where he had been for several months, met with just an overstimulated, overwhelmed, exhausted wife and mom of his babies in the driveway. I had started using these essential oils. Now, guys, let me paint you a little picture. I had no idea what to do. I opened these bottles up when they came in the mail. Like I ripped open this box and opened every single one of them up and was smelling them and dropping them on me. I had no idea what they were. I mean, when I say, can you imagine right now taking 9 oils? I want to say there was Valor, frankincense, peace and calming, Panaway, lemon, peppermint, Digize. Maybe there was only 7. No, there were 9 oils in there. I don't remember. I think it was 7, 8. I don't remember. I'll have to look back. I literally put them all on. I didn't know what any of them did. I did, but I didn't. I was opening them. Now, the day that we got them in the mail, the morning I opened them and was putting them on my body, on my person, I was dropping them, I was sniffing them, and I was like, "Whew, I feel weird." We were on our way to a family picnic, and I had made some sandwiches that had something that usually like upset my stomach. And this is going to be way TMI, but you know, when you're just like, I need a bathroom now. I hope I make it. Tummy rumbling. That was the experience I was having in the car on the way there. And I'm kind of like a home turf pooper. I don't like going into like gas stations or places. Like I would rather have beads of sweat coming down while I'm risking a ticket speeding home. Just a little information about Janell. You're welcome. Anyways, so I am quickly on my iPhone Googling, was it an iPhone? Yeah, it was, I think it was Derek's iPhone. Maybe he had a work one. And I'm Googling essential oils for IBS. That's literally what I Googled. And it said peppermint. And so I lifted up my shirt there in the car and I just went, I unloaded probably half this bottle on my stomach, but it stopped it. Like, I was amazed. And so what did I talk about the entire picnic to my family was these oils. Fast forward, Derek goes out of town. He comes back. When he got back, it was probably the second week of using, it was probably 10 days in, 11 days in. He had gotten home that Thursday night, and instead of me like already in the driveway, ready to like peace out so that he could put the kids to bed while I just went and strolled to Target to like not even hear my own thoughts for a minute. I was in the kitchen making dinner, and I had a baby in a bumbo. Remember those bumbo seats on the counter next to me? The other one was coloring at the counter, and then our oldest had a neighbor over for a play date in the backyard. Much different scene than he had probably walked into, or he definitely had walked into in a very long time. And we had dinner, did the dishes, put the kids to bed, and after we left the last room of putting the last one down, I'll never forget him grabbing me in the hallway of that house and like spinning around and hugging me and kissing me on the forehead and just saying, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. It's really great to have you back. And honestly, in that moment, I remember thinking, I don't even care if these are placebo. I actually said this to some ladies the other day because I was like, I literally don't even care if everything they've said is true or not, but just the fact that I knew I was feeling better, and now the people around me were noticing that I was feeling better. That's all that mattered. And I just found myself not being able to shut up about them, right? Like nothing about it felt like my first experience where I was showing up with boxes of things that even if it didn't necessarily match the color of their skin, I was really going to try to sell it to them because I needed to unload this inventory, right? This felt so different. It was me having people over and just saying, this is what it did for me. Put some on and see how you feel. Like, I didn't have a diffuser in the beginning because our kit didn't come with a diffuser. So there's actually a picture on my, like way down on my Instagram of a boiling pot on my stovetop that I had put drops of Valor and frankincense in. And I was holding a towel over my head to just get some of it in. because I had asked right after I got my oils, I had said, what should I use for this? And Lindsay didn't know, and her enroller didn't know. And so they sent me up to the next person who had been doing this much longer than us. And she said, just start with Valor and frankincense, apply it on your wrists. This is what I was told. I was told to apply it on my non-dominant wrist and hold my dominant wrist over it for 30 seconds and just allow it to absorb. To put it behind my ears, a drop behind my ears, and then to also apply around the rim of my ear. And I did that. If you're not familiar with VitaFlex points, today, while you have a little time, you're sitting on your phone, if you're on your lunch break at work, whatever it is, look up essential oil VitaFlex points. If you have any of our desk references or anything, you'll find the feet chart, you'll find the hand chart, and you'll find the ear chart. Your ears are emotional VitaFlex points. And so I was applying them to the outside rim of my ear, behind my ear, and my wrists. Valor first, then I was layering with frankincense. And I also had it running in my diffuser all day long. And it got to the point where in the morning when I was putting those oils on and in the diffuser, it was like, today is going to be such a good day. I can feel it. And I would just lean into that. So anyways, telling everyone, anyone who would listen. And I think one of the beautiful and sweet spots that we had going into what we were doing in 2013, 14, 15, and 16, and how we just saw this explosive growth was we came together and we said enough. Like, if there are things that can help us be the best versions of ourselves, be the best, for me, it was being the best mom, showing up for my husband. We were best friends. Like, I wanted to give him the best version of me, right? I could fall apart in front of him totally, but like, who wants to deal with that person all day, every day? So like trying to just be the best version of me. And at the time, that was a mom who drove through and got my kids a Happy Meal while I folded up a napkin and shoved it in the AC vent, dumping a bunch of peace and calming on it so that they would fall asleep watching their Yo Gabba Gabba or like Little Bear DVD in the minivan. Like, that was the life I was living. And they would take their nap and I could pull over into a shady spot somewhere and I could answer people's essential oil questions because I was sharing what I was doing online. And the people that came out of nowhere that were like, sorry, how'd you get your kids to nap? And how'd you help your child with their ear hurting? And all the other things, right? We were talking about it. We weren't afraid to talk about it. We weren't afraid of what people I was not afraid of what the people in my life who didn't understand what I was doing might say. I will be very honest with you guys. I am 10 years in, I am a diamond, and I still have moments where I'm like, oh, what is so-and-so going to say about this post when I post it? And that has held me back. It has held me back. And I don't want that anymore. I want to keep sharing and helping people and seeing the people on my team continuing to rank and all of those things. So that changes now. And I think that that's something for those of us who have been around for a while and have allowed little voices to creep in or people to say, wow, man, you were just so lucky you got in at the right time. No, Or, yeah, I put some motor oil on last week and that totally got rid of my sore throat. No, we're not listening to that stuff. Just because they don't understand doesn't mean that you don't have something of value that you can share with others who need it. Okay. One of the other really incredible things that has changed my life. So, okay, we've talked about what the oils actually did, right? And sharing them brought on this business, this accidental business that has created a different value and purpose for my life than I knew. I love being a mom. It is extremely fulfilling. It is the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. I know that maybe sounds silly, but I'm sure some of you can understand. I'm very fulfilled by being the best mom that I possibly could be to these 3 perfect gifts that were entrusted to me for this time. Okay. But beyond that, having other women reach out and say, I allowed that XYZ diagnosis from this doctor to really hold me back. Thank you for sharing what you shared, because I'm only 3 weeks in and I walked around the zoo with my kids for 4.5 hours and I'm not in pain. You changed my life. So being able to find purpose in something so simple as, hey mom, if you're feeling tired, try this. Hey mom, if your kids are having issues regulating their bodies, let's try this. Hey mom, if you're struggling with this, try this, right? That's all we have to say. It doesn't have to be the thing. Maybe that doesn't work. Okay, if that doesn't work, let's try this one then. The relationships that we have built in this business, it truly is the greatest gift of it all, right? Like, without people to love and to love you back, what are we doing? I was scrolling through as I was trying to find that original post or that original conversation that I had with Lindsay. And there was this little snippet that I actually took a screenshot of because I had thanked her for someone that she had put in my downline that I had developed a relationship with. And I was grateful for that friendship so much. And if anyone in here knows Becca Sutton, you know how amazing she is, right? And I was just like smiling this morning, coming across this like little 2-second, like, dang, Lindsay, thank you so much for introducing me to her. She's really become one of my best friends. And it's just cool, right? Melissa Kohler, same thing, right? I didn't enroll Melissa Kohler. She was introduced to me through Lindsay. And I mean, I think we're each other's work wife a lot of the time. We lean on each other. We're friends. We are real life friends. And it's one of the biggest blessings of my life. It's really phenomenal that I now, through this business, have a different purpose than just being Madison, Chloe, and Emma's mom. than just being Derek's wife, than just being Tammy and Eric's daughter, right? Like any of those things are off the charts amazing as far as I'm concerned. But now, in addition to that, I'm one of the best versions of me, and I just keep getting better every single year. And the more relationships that I encounter, the more lessons I learn, both through doing things right the first time and wrong the first time, right? Like I've learned that failure is okay, that this perfectionism thing that I struggle with, I've learned to work through it through this opportunity. I have learned that I have something to offer other than changing diapers and being a girl mom. I have learned that my voice matters. I have learned that there is a bigger purpose for me and my home than what I could have imagined at that time. Of course, I knew it, but what I could have imagined at that time. So I'm going to wrap up because I feel like I don't even know how long this has gone on. But what I can say is if you're struggling with your business, do something radical to change it up. Do what you did when there was joy. Okay? Invest in the relationships around you because these people are going to be your friends and you're going to raise your kids together and you're going to share big life moments together and you're going to celebrate on beaches together that Young Living sends you to. You have so much to give. Start doing it. Start with the simple things. If you have little ones, share naturally what you do with oils. If you have teens, share naturally what you do with oils. If you have dogs and cats, share naturally what you do with oils. If you have a heartbeat, share naturally what you do with oils, right? You don't have to have this like thing. You don't have to have a thing. All that to say, when people even lightly make the comment that oils have changed my life, oils have changed my world, oils have, this business has changed my life. Let's not write it off so quickly because I've seen eyes roll, even on calls. There really are real life stories of real worlds changing. Not even, I'm not even going to go into it financially, but you guys, from going from claiming bankruptcy, skipping my electricity bill to purchase my first kit, we now make enough to do things for others that I only saw in movies, and it's incredible. So let me just say, when you hear someone say that, or actually, no, yes, I've already said that. Why not spend a little time today thinking about how it's actually changed your life and your world, and focus on that instead of the tasks, and be intentional about gathering those memories because they're powerful. And if you need to, write yourself a little note and stick it somewhere where you can pull it out when you need it. I am so grateful for the 10 years that I've had. I'm looking forward to the next decade, and I can't wait to see what that looks like, because if it was anything like the wild ride of the first and all of the incredible things that these first 10 years have brought into our lives, then bring on the next 10, because I'm ready for it. I love you guys. I'm sure that I'm going to think of 100 other gazillion things I could have said. But have an amazing day. And I love you guys. I love you a lot. And I'm grateful to be a part of this with you. And let me know if you have any questions, because I really am an open book. And I hope I shared everything that I was supposed to share with you today. Mwah!